Roundtable Movie Talk is a podcast that contains adult language and spoilers for current films. For example...
What the f*** was that?
What was that, man?
You've been warned.
Get up on the mic like a 5 on a 50. Quickly avoid the hickeys and a buck tooth bitties.
Wizards!
What's the plan, dog? One last ride.
Welcome back to Roundtable Movie Talk. This week on episode 41 we have Furious 7. We're short-handed, so it's just Jimmy and I, and we essentially do our best to cover the testosterone-filled action flick that was in front of us by talking about every other testosterone-filled action flick we could think of. And towards the end, stay tuned because we do come up with a killer idea for a sequel. So sit back and enjoy.
Turn down the
Yeah, a huge part of me just wants to be like, so, yep. See you next time.
That's it, folks.
Yep.
That's episode 31.
I hope you enjoyed your time with us
7
this week. Cheers. Cheers to you. So, correct me if I'm wrong, but you hadn't seen any of the Fast and Furious movies.
No, this was my first one.
So this was your virgin sojourn
My
voyage.
introduction.
Okay, good to know. All right, so let's just news and what have you just out of the way real quick.
Okay.
We're shorthanded this week.
Yes,
There's
we are.
no
Bishop
here.
here as we both wave at an empty spot.
Yeah, normally there's a person here. That person's actually you.
He's not. Yeah,
You're here.
I'm sitting where he usually
You just
sits.
moved into his chair. Yeah.
Yeah,
This is like a very strange experience for me.
Well, actually,
Yeah.
yeah.
I don't know. I don't know how I'm going to do it, but I'll figure it out.
It's interesting.
So we're going to be shorthanded probably this week and next.
Yeah,
At minimum. We'll figure it out. It'll be fine.
we got this.
Yeah.
We
So
got this.
we went on a mandate to see Furious 7.
Yeah.
And I didn't know that you hadn't seen any of them beforehand. I wish I knew that, because I could have given you, like, the Fast and Furious primer before sitting down. I could have been like, here's what you need to do to get ready for this movie.
I'm kind of glad I went in it not knowing. I just knew that there was Vin Diesel and Paul Walker and The Rock's in there somewhere, and there's, fast vehicles.
Yeah.
And somebody's angry. That's all I knew.
Yeah, or furious.
Yeah.
The first thing you do is you get a beverage. That's the first thing you do. And after you have your beverage, you have to drink it in hopes that you can remove yourself from any semblance of logic and reality. You need to check all of that at the door when you sit down to see a Fast and Furious movie.
I kind of expected that, There wasn't many high expectations. I wasn't going in thinking this was going to be gone in 60 seconds.
I wasn't expecting a masterpiece.
Yeah.
But as it goes, right, from like the first Fast and Furious movie, which had some of its ridiculous moments, right? Like the one I can think of is Vin Diesel's a mechanic at that point. This is before he became like a superhero, right? He's back in just a normal mechanic. And probably 70 pounds lighter. Like, they were all so normally built back then. Like, before steroids infiltrated Hollywood action movies. But anyway, there's a scene where Dominic, like, lets the chain roll or fly out on an engine mount, right? Okay. So it's like going through like a pulley, and he catches it as the engine stops, about to crush some guy, and he's holding it, like interrogating him, and he's like shaking, holding what's probably like a 400 or 500 pound engine block, like with one arm.
Yeah, oh god.
So that's like the unbelievable moment from the first movie. Yeah. Right? Which there's also some like crazy driving stuff that happens, but like all things being equal, that's pretty tame compared to what we get now. Now, because you haven't seen any of the movies, what you don't realize is that we've been building to this moment.
Yeah.
Every installment along the way, there's been something crazier, something wilder, something bigger than this.
And this movie just lets it all out.
I think when you drive a plane, or fly a plane, only to drive cars out of the back of it, and then parachute onto a road,
which I don't think is possible.
which I'm pretty sure is not even possible, but just like a death sentence. Okay, so let's be honest though. The military can parachute tanks onto the battlefield,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Which is, mind you, the battlefield's usually like a desert. And
Yeah.
it's a huge target, very big target.
And it's usually not just a tank by itself. I feel like there's some structural support things that go with it.
Yes, there are.
Some things to help the
and
landing.
some more parachutes.
Yeah,
Exactly. Yeah.
It's not just a naked tank.
So I hope that
Just
you
the name of my
realize
new band.
Naked Tank. That's a good band name.
Yeah.
So I hope you realized in like the first 20 minutes of this movie that reality is something that you did not like. If you showed up with reality, hopefully by that scene, you were like you'd thrown it out.
I threw it out when it became obvious that Michelle Rodriguez at some point had lost her memory.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm like, oh, this series has used the amnesia trope.
Oh yeah, dude.
I'm okay. I know what I'm in for then.
Yeah, and she's got to go find herself.
Yeah.
She's got to go figure it out.
And talk to Iggy Azalea briefly in the desert.
Evidently.
Yeah. You missed that?
I didn't know it was Iggy Azalea. I don't know what Iggy Azalea looks like. I'm sorry. I listen to real rap music.
Yeah.
And by that I mean I've had Kendrick Lamar on repeat for like the last 3 weeks. That's what I mean.
It was it took me a moment. I'm like, that's Iggy, I'm pretty sure. And then she opened her mouth and I'm like, oh, okay, that's Iggy. Kinda has the Australian twang.
I don't.
She's all like kangaroo.
Kangaroo.
Yeah.
But yeah. So yeah, like Michelle Rodriguez I think she had amnesia in the previous one because in Fast 5, or was it 4? The one where they're in Mexico with the drugs. I think that ends with her getting like exploded.
Okay.
And that's how she loses.
She doesn't die.
She doesn't die. She gets no body, dude.
Yeah. No body means no death.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So yes, there are some very like tropey as fuck soap opera / action movies happening here.
You have that opener with Jason Statham in the hospital, you know, and I knew what I was in for also when he like is coming out and you can tell. I hope you can't actually hear my stomach growling right now.
I don't think so.
That's weird.
The mic's good, but I don't know. It's not good.
That's weird. But yes, Jason Statham is in the hospital. He's seeing his brother. He comes out. You get the sense of like, oh, this isn't just a normal visit. He has gone through some shit to get here.
Yeah.
And the shit's like a SWAT team.
He's hacked and slashed his way to success.
And then he takes a grenade, takes the pin, gives it to somebody, and throws them to the side. And I'm just like, you didn't need to do that.
No. Completely
You
unnecessary.
didn't need to do that. Like, that guy is fucked up already. Like, you're in the clear. That was just excessive. And then I'm like, okay, I know what movie I'm in for.
Yeah.
Like that, then the amnesia. I'm like, I got this. I got this.
So by the time cars get driven out of planes,
Yeah.
you're like, whatever.
Oh, yeah. I'm like...
I saw this coming a mile away.
It's kind of like the A-Team with the tank moment, you know?
Still never seen the A-Team.
Don't.
So I think, and I know that Bishop and I talked about this before going to see it, was everyone's surprised I've seen every single Fast and Furious movie. And I tell this to people and they're like, are you really?
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh yeah, eat that shit up.
So did you eat this up?
It was, no.
No?
Okay, so...
Because I had fun, but I wasn't expecting anything.
It's impossible not to have fun. Like, that's what Fast and Furious movies are all about. Now, there's a couple of things about this guy that are different than the previous ones. So since Tokyo Drift, which is the third, so Tokyo Drift 4, 5, and 6 were all Justin Lin movies.
Okay.
This one was James Wan. I think that's...
Interesting choice.
Maybe part of...
James Wan, not known for his action films.
Yeah. I think that's part of what maybe led to things being a little different. I mean, there was no torture porn.
Yeah.
So that's good, right?
That was nice.
But I think the tone's a little bit different here.
Was it darker?
Was this darker? There were more scenes at night, maybe. I don't think it was darker. But I think with Lin, like, you had this nice consistent Tokyo Drift. So basically, like, Tokyo Drift actually happens. So the first movie Justin Lin directed, chronologically, like where it falls in the story, actually falls between 6 and 7.
Okay.
So he kind of did that and then up.
So so that's when the focus is on the guy with the Southern Alabama drawl?
Yeah, that you see for like a hot second.
He's just like
Howdy, y'all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, what is that guy doing in Tokyo?
Drifting.
Drifting.
Tokyo Drift had a terrible tagline. I think the tagline for Tokyo Drift was, "You're not in control unless you're out of control." Or something like that. It was a really shitty tagline.
Oh, goodness.
Yeah, but...
What's the tagline for this?
Furious 7.
Furious 7.
There's no tagline.
Yeah.
I think the tagline is Vin Diesel saying, "We're family." For like the 18th time. We're family.
Yeah.
I wish I could do a good Vin Diesel impersonation.
We're family.
I don't know why he sounds like Billy Bob Thornton from Sling Blade. Like,
well, it's so hard because you gotta do like a New York accent, and then you gotta like deepen the hell out of it.
yeah,
you know?
I can do a New York accent.
But can you deepen it? With
No,
that
I
gravel?
can't. I can't do
Yeah.
that. No,
Yeah.
that's impossible.
See, I always thought the Vin Diesel would be perfect as like the Goon. You ever read the Goon comics?
No,
He should be.
He'd
Should
be-
make it. He'd be perfect. Absolutely perfect.
I don't see them doing many more Fast and Furious movies. At least not with the cast they have presently.
They're talking about Furious 8.
Yeah, I think
it's in the talks.
I think they'll do an 8, and they might do one after that. But I don't see, because like I said, I think this goes back to what I said earlier, which is like they're action heroes now, right? Like they're superheroes. They're like
The Rock literally breaks a cast off.
Yeah,
Just
he
takes
actually
a
hulks
Gatling
out,
gun.
right? Like I think they've gone so far away from being mortal that I don't know if you can just continue with this cast because they've seen so much shit, and you can't drive a $3 million supercar out of the Burj Dubai into a different tower of the Burj Dubai and then into like another like you can't just do that repeatedly and live, you know.
For that though, I do want to bring up that the viewing we went to was perfect. It was a draft house in which there was a loud attendee who didn't get kicked out because he added to the movie so perfectly.
First off, it's like there are certain individuals that when they open their mouth in a theater have every right to open their mouth, right? It's like when you see snakes on a plane, for instance, and someone yells, "It's a snake!" Like you can't kick that person out.
No,
you can't.
No,
they know.
Yeah,
they know. It's like the person. And this is because I grew up in Detroit, but it's like the person that's like, "Don't open the door," you know. That guy gets to stay.
Yeah, no, that guy gets a pass. The guy, but just how vocal this guy was throughout the whole film was so enjoyable. It just made it gave it a nice extra layer to it for me.
He was jubilant. He laughed.
Oh, yeah.
He yucked it up.
Yeah.
He had a good call and response with the screen.
He did.
Good
Like
rapport.
perfect timing. I wondered actually if he had seen it.
I think he's a plant. He's probably a plant.
He's probably a plant.
Yeah.
Is that a draft house plant or like a Universal plant?
Yeah, he's a plant from Universal or like the one in there. Because I honestly compared to 6 and 5, I don't feel like this was as good a movie.
Mm-hmm.
And I just mean like the acting's like I feel like the character's the same, but the way they're acted's a little different.
I mean, has Vin Diesel always been like that?
I don't know if it was possible for Vin Diesel to be, and this is maybe a really bad Groot pun, but he's very wooden. He's very wooden in this one. And
no, he really is.
Yeah, he's very and yeah, I mean, he's always been very whenever he's Dominic, he's always very stiff, but
yeah,
he's like fucking Pinocchio in this shit. Like it goes above and beyond what's typical of him in a Fast and Furious movie.
It was so I didn't realize that Vin Diesel was the franchise lead.
Well, he and Paul Walker are the franchise.
Not in this movie.
Well, not in this one.
Okay.
But, yeah.
In this movie, he's definitely the franchise lead, and Paul Walker's like, I'm the sidekick.
Yeah, so Fast and Furious, the original. You've seen Point Break, right?
Yeah.
It's Point Break, man.
Okay.
It's Point Break, and Vin Diesel's the Sweeze. Okay?
And that makes Paul Walker Keanu.
And Paul Walker's Keanu.
Okay.
Except the difference is that Paul Walker, at the end of the movie, doesn't throw his badge into the ocean. All right? He has the hots for his sister, so he sticks around.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So that's his sister. I was trying to figure out relationships as we were watching this.
He, I think if I'm thinking correctly, the end of the first movie, he has a chance to catch Dom, and he doesn't. He doesn't take it. He goes back to the FBI and is like, "Oh, I couldn't get him.
Didn't get him.
Whoops.
My bad." Okay.
And then in the second movie, he's like, "So I'm not an FBI guy anymore. Hey,
Got fired.
Quit.
Quit.
Want to drive cars and shit, you know?" So yeah, And that's pretty much. And then you got like there's like the jostle of like Paul Walker being in the FBI, him not being in the FBI, like the
and
back
then being
and forth,
in the FBI again.
Whatever.
Okay. So, bringing up Paul Walker, we kind of really have to.
Yeah. No. Okay. So, go ahead.
It was like
Have at it. I know these things.
I had no idea how they were going to write Paul Walker out of the film franchise.
No, but I don't think maybe it was publicized, but I had no idea.
Yeah, I had no idea. So there was a part of me that this might sound terrible.
It doesn't. No, I said it. You're going to repeat what I already said. That's fine. And it does. It is terrible.
I had that tension the whole time. Like anytime it seemed like Paul Walker's character could bite it, I kind of believed that he could.
Yeah.
You know,
right? And
like I'm like, is that the path they're going to go with this? Because like, how do what's going on?
I almost like at time like okay, so like every time Paul Walker's character is Brian, right? It's like every time Brian gets in a situation where it's like this motherfucker might die. Like yeah, I'm thinking this is it. This is how they do it. Like the movie's gonna turn on this moment, you know? Like
they already said like we can't have one more funeral, so like maybe they're setting up like the heartbreak of another one,
right? Like I feel like I'm wondering like how much of that do they go back and rewrite? Because the whole time it feels like the movie's trying to like wink at you like we're gonna kill Paul Walker because
doesn't it?
Because he unfortunately passed in real life. So and I feel like it's exploiting that a little bit, right? Do you get that?
A little bit.
Do you get that feeling? Like
no, it's because you also have like throughout the film, and I think that it's supposed to be like an amping up the emotion of the bond, but you have these moments where it's clearly CGI Paul Walker, and he does that slow turn look to Vin Diesel, right?
And it's always like the same look.
It's the same exact look, and I'm just thinking like, is he looking at him like, because that's obviously CGI Paul Walker. Are they alluding to this as like a moment that could lead to something worse?
Yeah.
Or
what's going on exactly?
Yeah. Instead, it's just amping up for like, no, he gets to actually live happily ever after.
Which I think is, like kudos to them.
I actually think that
Props. That's awesome.
I really like the fact they didn't exploit it.
That's a good way to end a character arc.
Oh yeah.
When your actor has gone on.
Yeah.
From
even
the
though
world.
it's kind of weird because you can tell that like at the very end. They're on the beach and they're talking about him. They're talking about how like this is the end of his arc. This is as far as he goes with the crew. He's got a family to raise now, kind of thing. But the way they're talking about him is so obvious. Like they're talking about Paul Walker. He is dead.
Oh yeah.
That it's really jarring because they're talking about a man who's right in front of them, character-wise.
Yeah. As
if he is dead and gone. And that felt really strange. Yeah. Like that was too much in one direction.
From what I understand, the kind of the four primary guys in Vin Diesel, Luda, and we go back. Me and Ludacris go back. I just call him Luda. And Tyrese, like the evidently like the four of them are like pretty tightly knit when it comes to like being on set.
Yeah.
So I think that you definitely get like that overtone of like, oh man, like it's pulling them down, you know? Mm-hmm. So, and you don't know this because you haven't seen the other ones, but I mean, so in 6, one of the crew dies in 6. In, I don't know if it's 5 or 4. I think it's 5. Letty, obviously, disappears. Might have been 4, disappears. And you're presuming that she's dead, right? Mm-hmm. Like they kill Han in Tokyo Drift, you know, that Han dies. So every time Han shows up, and you're like, well, Han's gonna die, like, at some point. Yeah. Right? So you're kind of waiting to figure out how that happens. So
did they have Jason Statham in the third one, then?
No.
So how does Han die?
You just hear about it. It's related to you.
Oh, it's just related that Han dies?
Yeah.
They're just like, Han's dead, bro.
Kind of. Pretty much. Yeah.
Oh, that's so weird. Did they know?
What? How the whole thing was gonna...
Yeah. Is this planned?
I don't know.
Is this planned?
I don't know.
It's interesting.
I mean, the franchise has made so much money by now that obviously
this installment alone,
it's a juggernaut, right? I think the weekend we saw, which was last weekend, which was the 9th or what have you, like it made $42 million.
Goodness,
right? And it made like 145 or whatever the weekend before, or like 152 or whatever it was.
It was breaking records.
Yeah, it's insane. I was expecting the summer box office to like start in Avengers in May.
Nope.
Avengers, nope. Yeah,
we're bringing it
early jump on things.
Bringing it out in April.
Yeah, it's rainy outside, but our hearts are full of testosterone and gasoline. You know? Which also brings me to my point, like, this. I don't feel like this was as macho as the previous installments.
It's a bit more subdued?
Maybe my definition of macho is directly proportionate to the amount of time The Rock spends on the screen.
So that was another question I had. Like, you mentioned, when did The Rock show up?
5. Yeah.
So he's been there...
So, in Fast 5, he's kind of antagonist.
Okay.
/ protect. Like, he's
the lawman.
He's the law.
Okay,
yeah.
okay.
Right? And then in 6, he's like, yeah, I'm the law, but I need your help. I respect you.
Yeah.
I respect you.
All right.
You know, because we've done I respect you. So, I think, if I'm not mistaken, there's a character, so Fast 5 is set in Brazil, and there's a law enforcement character that they flip, who I think dies in 6. I don't remember. There are so many, like, ancillary characters come and go that it's kind of hard to keep them all straight. And I've only seen each movie once.
Okay.
Because once is enough.
Yeah.
Like, you have no compunction to go back and see this?
No.
Not at all.
Not really.
Right?
I had my Cocoa Puffs. It was good.
Yeah, dude, like, exactly. Like, there's... Like, I already feel... I don't know exactly when we actually started having a serious conversation, but presuming that we've actually been talking for 25 minutes, which could or could not be correct, I have no idea. Might be 20. Like, I think we've already wasted too much oxygen on talking about a Fast and Furious movie. Like,
so why do it as an episode?
I think there's 200 million reasons why we needed to. Right? Like, what it really comes down to is, and this is, I think, whenever we're not in front of this microphone and we're just talking about, like, what do we want to see, what do we want to do, like, there is a cultural zeitgeist that lives outside your front door, right? Like, there is society is doing something. And, you know, I'm not sure if, like, for instance, your film lineage or mine, for that matter, because, you know, I'm steeped in, like, the very theoretical side of how film should be done, right?
Yeah.
I really have no business, right, with kind of like whatever the normal way of doing things is. Like, I'm much more comfortable watching, like, Godard's Masculine Feminine and dissecting that than I am, you know, watching Furious 7 and but I don't want to dissect it. That's the thing.
Well, there's
right?
nothing...
Like, it doesn't warrant it.
Yeah. And that's not snobbery.
No.
That's not
snobbery,
it literally, it's not that kind of a flick.
Yeah, so for me, it's like, why do it as an episode? Well, the reason to do it is that it's so popular that, you know, you have to have it in your lexicon.
Yeah. Because
there are 200 million reasons
to reference it. If
right?
we're going to sit here and, you know, the stated goal of this is to take a film, to tear it apart to a degree, to talk about, you know, how it gets made, why it gets made, etc. There's an obvious reason why this got made.
Yeah, it was the $2 billion that the previous 6.
Yeah, you know, there is a following behind it. There is a loyalty, even. You know, like one of my coworkers has seen this twice. Twice.
Correct?
He.
Oh, he. Okay.
Yeah. He's seen it twice.
Why has he seen it twice?
Because he really loves the series.
Why does he really love the series? I mean, I know why.
Yeah.
Same reason I love this series. It's retardedly awesome.
Yeah, he's like, it's fun. He's a guy who loves cars. Like, it appeals to his interests. It appeals to what he wants. It appeals to, like, that energy, you know? Like, it's not the same energy I get. Like, I'm the kind of cat who's like, Batman, I'm there twice, you know?
Yeah, no, it's true. But I think, see, my problem is, like...
And that's even Batman and Robin, okay? That has nothing to do...
Wow.
I'm a fanboy when it comes
to... Batman and Robin's terrible.
It is.
It's terrible.
It is, bad. But I'm a fanboy.
It's got Batman nipples and too many villains. Like, that movie's got issues.
It does.
Yeah.
It does.
Too many nipple villains.
Yeah. Anyway. Oddly enough, not really Uma Thurman's character.
I think it suffers from not enough Uma Thurman. They should have just made a Poison Ivy movie.
It really should have.
It would have been great. Anyway. No, but but here's my issue, right? Is that because, like, I know that when I go and I sit down and I'm watching, like, Fast 5, 6, 7, the earlier stuff, like, I'm supposed to turn all the critical theory shit off, right? Because when they sat down and wrote the script, when James Wan sits down to direct this, like, they're not worried about mise en scene. Like, that's not coming. They're not like, you know what we really need here in the lower left-hand portion of the frame is like, no one's saying that. They're like, make sure that everything's in focus, And like,
Yeah.
you're
designing a roller coaster, not the haunted house.
Well, yeah, personally, not even that. It's like roller coaster is great. Yeah, we are designing a roller coaster. We are not painting, right?
Yeah.
Like,
I like the haunted house because it's still an attraction.
Yeah,
and
that's the
takes a bit of
horror
finesse.
movie thing in you. But
yeah,
exactly though, it's adrenaline, right?
Yeah.
It's fuel. But because of that, it's like I try to ignore like there's some like rampant misogyny that goes on.
Oh yeah,
and I'm like I'll just couch that. That's cool.
The whole entire scene with the female bodyguards.
First off, anything that involves... I'm going to out myself as an MMA fan. Anything that involves Ronda Rousey...
Awesome.
I'm full of surprises, by the way.
Yeah.
Anything that involves Ronda Rousey is great.
Yeah,
I think Ronda should be kicking more ass everywhere, basically.
You see that interview that she did with, like, where she mentions Pokemon, just goes off on it?
No.
Reveals herself to be a big Pokemon fan?
Good for her.
Awesome. Yeah.
I feel like I want more Ronda. Like, her fights are so quick.
Yeah. We needed choreographed long fights in film.
Yeah, we need to get more film time just so I can see her kick more ass. But it's kind of like, what movie was it? I think it was Captain America. Was it Winter Soldier?
Yeah.
Where like George St. Pierre shows up, right? And I'm like, oh great, like...
So he's bad shock and you're like, okay, this is going to be awesome.
Yeah.
It's a good fight.
It is a good fight. Yeah. But yeah, I love it. I love it when those when MMA guys and girls pop up on screen, like Gina Carano. I guess if you've ever seen Haywire.
Oh yeah.
But
it was a lot of fun.
She can't act.
No, she can kick
at
ass.
all. But she's great at whooping ass.
She would have totally been my choice for Wonder Woman.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay. Can't act though.
You don't need to.
You just deflect bullets with your bracers.
Yeah, I mean, look at Batman vs Superman. I don't really have many expectations, and we've like diverged.
Yeah,
twice.
we're totally running on. This all goes back to like misogyny.
Yeah, misogyny.
As it's like, let's not talk about that. Let's talk about other things. Ronda Rousey, great jumping off point, but yeah, there are just things you just have to ignore. So, who was the character? Ramsey. Like, there's that one scene when they get to Abu Dhabi. Yeah, they get to Abu Dhabi and she's like coming out of the water,
and it's just
and it's like, I guess Letty kind of gets like a dig in, right?
There is that,
and
there is that.
Like it,
but it doesn't even it out.
Right, it just doesn't even the score. You know, it isn't quite right.
Yeah, because that's purely a piece just to ogle this woman.
Granted, like both Taj and Roman come out.
Isn't it Tej?
Tej. Okay. Tej, Taj, whatever. And Roman come out looking like buffoons, but they're kind of set up that way anyway, right? Like, Tej is supposed to be kind of this ridiculous human being.
Super hacker.
No, that Roman's super hacker.
No, Tej is ludicrous.
Am I confusing? Yeah. Yes, Tej is ludicrous. Yeah, super hacker guy. And then Roman,
is
Tyrese Gibson's character, is he's just this boob already. So I don't think it really doesn't... Like, that's just who they are.
I'd totally watch a spin-off with those two.
Boys being boys. Would you?
I would, actually. Those were my two favorite characters when I was watching it. I was like, those two guys. I want more of those two guys.
Yeah, I think back when Han was still a character, there's a good interplay with all the... Yeah, because they're all sidekicks, right?
Yeah.
It's really like the Paul Walker, Vin Diesel, Michelle Rodriguez show. And everyone else is a sidekick.
Yeah, when did they get married? I was really confused about that.
When did they get married? I think they start... Do they either start married or they get married between 1 and 2?
Okay.
Way back when. Before she gets amnesia, bro.
Hey.
Before that explosion gets her amnesia.
And Statham. Was not expecting him. I didn't know he was in this.
Yeah, so there's an after the credits sequence, or maybe not even after the credits, maybe after like the main plot.
Like a pre-credit, like the stinger at the end.
Yeah, the stinger at the end, yeah.
I'm going to assume it's 6.
Where like a car crashes into Han.
Okay.
And it's Jason Statham.
So they reference it in 3 and then show it in 6?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So 3 is happening concurrently with 6?
No, it's 3 happens at the end of 6.
So it's like 6 ends, and then a couple months later...
Yeah, so like 6 ends, and then Han goes to Tokyo, and then you could start watching Tokyo Drift.
Okay.
Right? And then at some point towards the end of 3, you would pause, watch a scene from the end of 6 where Jason Statham kills Han, and then you go back to watching...
You go back to watching 3, and then that somehow feeds into 7.
Kind of.
Okay.
So I don't know why like this is important, but
I'm intrigued.
at the end of Tokyo Drift, basically they're like, yeah, this guy who knew Han's here.
Okay.
And he's like, you're pretty good.
Oh, so the actual scene.
Yeah, kind of.
Oh man, there's like a part of me that's like the editor in me wants to go back.
It all ties in.
And cut these things together for a franchise I've never really watched.
No.
But, yeah. You know, it's weird, like, this really reminded me of, not the Resident Evil movies, but the Resident Evil games. And the reason being, it was that I was a huge fan of the Resident Evil games. I ate that shit up. Like, I knew all the like, I read all the notes. I was like, anytime Resident Evil came out, I'm like, I'm playing it. I don't care if it's bad. I'm just gonna enjoy myself.
Yeah.
Kill some zombies, kill some, bioweapon monsters. And I just followed the whole entire storyline. And the storyline makes no fucking sense, obviously. But I knew it. I knew it by heart. and I feel like it's that same kind of feeling with this franchise, it seems. It seems like the people that really dig it, they're like, we know.
I love Resident Evil.
Yeah.
Even though it's terrible.
You're
like Wesker, You're just like...
punching a boulder.
Yeah.
Into a volcano.
And it's like, in order to kill Wesker, you have to like launch rockets at him while he's drowning in lava.
That's the only way to do it.
That's the only way to take him out.
But there was a certain element of over the top where it's just like...
It is. This is like Stallone over the top.
Yeah. I miss that kind of action, though. I can see why people really enjoy going to this. Like, there's not that many action films that come out lately.
That's a good thing. That's a really interesting
they're really kind of like an 80s action flick.
Yeah,
with modern technology.
Well,
I'm down.
We didn't start ramping up action movies. I think Die Hard might be kind of like the signpost, or like where would you put the signpost for like kind of starting to go a little over the top?
Not Die Hard.
Like Commando?
Yeah, before Die Hard. Pre-Die Hard. Die Hard was what brought it back. It dialed it down a bit.
Here's a bit.
No, here's why. Die Hard showed that, like, a schmuck like you and I could be the hero.
Well, a schmuck with police training.
Doesn't matter, but he looked like your average cop.
Yeah, he looked like
not your average cop, but he looked like he could be your average cop,
He'd be like a random dude off the street.
Yeah, he wasn't like honored being like, I am the agent of the CIA and American intelligence, blah, 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 with this thick accent.
That you can't do.
Can't do it at all. I can't, no, I can't even try. I mean, I tried, obviously. But,
it's a valiant effort.
Yeah, thank you. But I mean, you had like Commando. You had Predator even counts. In
Predator. I don't think Predator's over the top though. No, Predator's not over the top. I mean, Predator, the character that is Predator is over the top.
Yeah.
But the way that movie goes down,
You took the chopper.
Yeah, is pretty straightforward until like
Gatling guns, the fight in the village, all that shit.
Nah, dude. Nah, it's action-packed action.
Roadhouse.
Okay.
Roadhouse. Commando, definitely with the steam pipe.
Oh my god, Commando's crazy.
Demolition Man.
That's the 90s, though.
But I think that kind of
was like the 90s. Just throw Judge Dredd in there while you're at it, Like...
Yeah, but did anybody watch Judge Dredd?
The original?
Yeah. I don't think that was Demolition Man was actually a success.
But yeah, but I guess what I'm getting at is like, yeah, there was like this total like ramp up craziness that happens in action movies.
Yeah.
And I think, especially since Marvel's kind of been griming up comic books a little. Like Winter Soldier is pretty grimed up.
No, but here's the thing is that I feel like was not Marvel's doing. I felt like Marvel actually came back pretty well from this stupid grimy comic book scene.
Well, like Batman's super grimy, right?
Yeah.
Like, and by grimy I mean gritty, like
the original Daredevil tried really hard to be.
Yeah, and from what I hear, like the Netflix series is actually pulling that off pretty well.
Oh, so good.
So
I binge watched all 13. That's a separate episode entirely.
But
that's not going to happen.
But no, I think like what should be fantastical, right? Which is like comic book, Batman, Superman, etc. Like we're trying to like pull that down into reality a little bit more.
A bit.
And then like what should be steeped in reality, which is like normal street racers, are now getting like vaulted into like comic book superhero territory.
Once you get to like the 7th incarnation, like you just keep going up. You just keep going up.
Where do you go?
Up.
They're gonna have to. So it's gonna be
one place, man.
So the next time that we see Fast and Furious 8, they should be in space.
No, man, that's when you lose it. But I feel like
is that Moonraker?
Yeah. Even though that did come back. James Bond did come back from the Moonraker.
Yeah, but James Bond's different, right? It's not the same.
It's not a constitution.
There wasn't a continuity back then like there is now.
Yes, there was.
Not even remotely the same. Like, you get some continuity with the Spectre bits through there.
Yeah.
But, like, the events of Moonraker don't, like, bleed into, was that the last war?
Actually, no. You're using Moonraker as an example, and yet it's the only film that had a henchman twice.
Yeah.
It's direct continuity from the film preceding it. So your argument is invalidated right there.
I guess what I'm getting at is, like, no one, by the time, like, License to Kill rolls around, no one's like, well, when I was on the space station, and I shut... That's not coming up.
No.
That's all I'm saying.
No, it's because you want to keep it fresh with Timothy Dalton.
Yeah,
it's only the second movie.
You want to keep it super slimy.
Yeah. Oh, it's smarmy as hell. Love it.
So
One of the best Bonds.
Wow, man.
We really jumped ship.
We have clearly, there's a love of action movies here that is just a wealth of untapped potential for. We could just spin yarns for months.
So I was going to say is I feel like an action franchise needs to live and die by the Icarus principle.
Okay, so driving cars out of the back of a C whatever. You just would know what the military transport is there. What is that?
C-130.
Yeah, whatever.
I have no idea.
I feel like you should know this.
I don't.
You're a bad military brat.
I really am, actually. I'm terrible.
But yeah,
that's a tank.
You're
not a tank.
tank.
Don't fucking know.
But yeah,
it's a tank.
Driving your car out of a military transport, that's not the sun?
No.
Okay.
No, because obviously it worked. Look at the numbers.
Sure, yes.
You know?
But it is
yeah,
ludicrous to do something like that.
I see what you did there.
First pun. I held off for like the whole episode. Like, we're wrapping shit up and I just did it, so.
But I mean, like, the Icarus, like, you just keep going, and the audience will tell you when your wings have melted off. That's how it goes. It worked for Predator. Predator 2? No.
Yeah, but they never came back to make a Predator 3.
Predators. Robert Rodriguez. Adrian Brody.
Yeah, but that's...
It was awful.
Over a decade later.
So bad.
Yeah.
Yeah. They didn't follow the Icarus principle.
But how does that work? The audience says, okay, you need to rein it in.
Mm-hmm.
So in whatever the preceding movie is, you rein it in.
Yeah.
You're like, I'm a little too close.
Yeah. And instead, they were like, let's amp it up, and then nobody went to go see Predators. That's exactly what happened. Actually, James Bond is perfect at this, I feel like. Yeah, they know when the audience has had their, like, what happened with Pierce Brosnan. Die Another Day happens, he doesn't come back.
Okay, first off, this is a different episode in and of itself. But let me just say this about Pierce Brosnan. After, let's see here. So it's GoldenEye, then Tomorrow Never Dies. So after Tomorrow Never Dies, which fell really flat.
Yes.
Right? You get Die Another Day?
No. The bar
is not enough, which is also bullshit.
Oh, fuck you. Oh, fuck you.
So...
What's your arguments here?
For...
How's that bullshit?
Okay. Let me make sure I'm getting it right. Is that the one that starts with Bond in Hong Kong and he gets broken out?
No.
And then
it's Die Another Day.
And
it's not even Hong Kong.
Okay. But Denise Richards is a nuclear scientist in that movie, is she not?
Yes.
Yes. That is my argument against that movie.
So here's my argument for that. God damn it. For that movie. You go from Tomorrow Never Dies, which should have been a fairly straightforward, good, but the action's the only thing that keeps that movie together.
Okay.
Tomorrow Never Dies.
Yeah, the motorcycle chase and whatnot. Yeah.
The jump.
The jump
on the banner.
Yeah. That's good.
You know, the helicopter. All that shit. Everything else blows.
Oh my god.
So
one of the worst villains ever.
Oh.
I'm a media conglomerate. CEO.
And it's Jonathan Pryce. You should have done that.
Anyway.
Anyways. So you go from there, and what's your response is like, okay, let's bring the action down a little bit.
Sure.
Okay, we'll blow up MI6, but that's cool.
It's been done.
It's done since, you know. It's like, let's bring the action down a bit. Let's amp up a little bit more story. Let's focus on that. And you get a pretty good blend in that one. Sure, Denise Richards is a nuclear scientist in that film.
Plus, there's the whole scene in the tube. It's terrible. The tube scene, the oil pipeline scene.
It works for what it needs to be.
It's so...
Then you get a nuclear submarine ending, which is a lot of fun. Robert Carlyle.
You know, it's a great shootout. I'll give you that.
Yeah.
It's a great shootout.
Robert Carlyle is the villain. And, come on, nobody's really expecting the Electric King is the actual bad guy.
Yeah.
With some emotional attachment to Bond, betraying him once again. That works. It works too well for you to just cart it off as bullshit.
I think the more entertaining movie, though, is Die Another Day. Spectre's not... November will happen, and we can
talk about James Bond all day then.
Yeah, we'll till we're blue in the face.
Yeah.
Any other closing thoughts about Furious.
Did we even really talk about this movie?
We did. It was like 20 minutes ago.
It was, yeah. No, I mean, there's not much to close here. I mean, it worked. The tribute at the end worked.
Obviously, it evoked the memories of action flicks past.
Yeah, and you know what? I'm appreciative that there's a franchise that kind of still keeps action to what it was.
I feel like a lot of this movie is just waiting for the next action sequence.
Oh yeah, well no, and also the next zinger.
Yeah,
You thought this was going to be a street fight?
Oh god, it is.
It is. That's a moment. That's a moment where you go yes, this is stupid, but goddamn, that'd be badass as hell to say to Jason Statham's face. That'd be awesome. I wish I could say that.
Also, I think
such confidence.
I want to talk about Jason Statham real fast. He must have the world's most iron chin because The Rock totally punches him in the face.
Yeah,
and he just takes it like a champ.
I know.
That's impressive.
Well, actually. Here's one thing I do want to touch upon. The one thing I do have a problem with, though, and it's a plot point, and it's nitpicky as hell. And
how can you be nitpicky with something that involves guys driving cars out of a military trip?
Why do these people need the God's eye when Jason Statham is perfectly capable of not only showing up to fuck their day up, but fuck up enough to have enough time for them to counterattack?
Not only... Jason
they don't need to hunt him down.
Let's talk about Jason Statham is a fantastic villain because he just shows up at the most inopportune time for the heroes with the right equipment. Always. He's like, by the way, you didn't know this about me.
Yeah.
But whatever climate you're in, whatever continent you're on, whatever you're going after, I know about it, and I have a loadout just waiting.
And he's doing this without the God's Eye weird NSA. Was that supposed to be I think it's a sort of commentary on the times
on surveillance?
No,
I don't think it's in the same way that say Winter Soldier is.
Yeah,
because basically surveillance and Winter Soldier equals death, right?
Yeah. And this is actually a tool to be used. Actually, it's very pro.
Yeah, it's for good.
Yeah, until the bad guys get it.
Until the bad guy, you don't want the bad guys.
You don't want the bad guys, so it's best that we get it.
Yeah, the terrorists could win.
Yeah. Except, Jason Statham really didn't need
Once
it.
again, this movie is not concerned with those things.
No.
It doesn't even want to wink or hint or nudge or go, huh. No. It just wants to blow up something else.
It was good.
It wants to leave a bag of grenades hanging from your helicopter, which somehow got into American airspace without getting shot down. Don't ask questions.
Yeah, I'm like, how the hell is this not getting attacked? Right? It's in Los Angeles.
I'm like,
there's a helicopter with a drone. Obviously not U.S.
How was there not something scrambled from Nellis there in 3 minutes and just shoots you out of the... Who cares?
Sorry,
I'm dropping shit. But yeah, how is there nothing from Nellis to shoot it down?
Yeah.
Come on. But you have to check those things at the door because it says Furious 7.
Yeah.
Yeah, and not legitimate, steeped in reality action movie.
No, this
isn't Enemy of the State,
This is overindulged. I overindulged in the food.
Yeah.
And in the drink.
This is like a bacchanalia. Yeah. It should be they should show this movie at orgies in the future. That's what this is for. It is an overindulgence of everything. If this could somehow be rated R and it could just be tits and ass and sex and fast cars and bullets and explosions, it would be NC-17 because of the giant erection it would give you from you would be.
It's this blood.
Young boys would hit puberty early if they saw it, so you have to rate it NC-17. So
they all come out sounding like Vin Diesel.
Yeah, they all come out with full beards. They're jacked up. They sound like Vin Diesel. Yeah, you couldn't make that movie. But it's really fun to think about.
Yeah. So, what's bets now? What's the next one going to be called? Because if there's one thing I noticed when I was looking up this franchise, their naming conventions are all over the fucking place.
Yeah, how the fourth movie is named Fast and Furious.
Yeah. And then it's it's Fast 5.
Fast 5.
And then Fast and Furious 6.
And now Furious 7. Yeah.
So
the 8th one will be named
F8. Calling it
F8. Just F8.
Just F8. Fate. Oh!
I think you're right. It's going to be called Fate.
Yeah.
Yeah, but F8. Fate.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah.
Trademark.
You owe us money now, Universal.
You can't use that shit. Today is April 13th, 2015. This is... Pay me my money.
You know what we really should have done for this episode is just pitch Fate to Universal.
That's what it should have been. Just be like,
Should've
we have an idea for a script.
Yeah.
Here's how it goes.
Yeah. And just, doing voices.
Yeah. Our shit. Like, one of us would have to learn how to do Vin Diesel impression.
You're just stuck like this.
That's so terrible. Family.
I got family.
Family.
But I think the studio executives would appreciate it.
Yeah, they'd be.
They would.
We're calling this is no longer. It's called Fast Family. Furious Family. Also trademark 2015, April 13th. Anyway,
what a Fate
Family. So I think
the new hit by Ludacris.
So let's talk about. Yeah, get him back in the studio. No, okay. So what are we doing next exactly? Specifically.
So what's coming up that we can do?
We got a couple things.
We have a few things. It's weird. We have choices.
So we should have said at the beginning that this was supposed to be Ex Machina. But as per typical Austin, we got shafted.
We didn't get it.
We got shafted a week.
Yeah, it's not here.
So it'll be here on Friday for us.
So we're gonna watch it then.
Yes.
Does that mean the next episode is Ex Machina?
Which means we can do it next week. But what also came out this last weekend was Ryan Gosling's directorial debut.
Oh, yeah.
That involves Matt Smith repeatedly saying, look
at my muscles. And I think...
And there's a little German film called Phoenix.
Yes.
As well. So we're going to watch a shit ton of movies in the next, week.
Yeah.
I think let's do Ex Machina. Let's come back. Let's do Ex Machina.
Okay.
And
I'm down.
And then maybe we do a little bonus, if you will. Maybe we'll double up.
Double up?
We'll double up.
I don't know. I feel like Ex Machina might have...
No, I think it will.
Yeah.
Maybe...
Just pop one in.
Yeah, like a quickie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just hide it there.
Yeah.
Paperclip it.
Yeah.
Not in the Nazi sense, but in a
yeah,
pro sense.
like a couple days later.
Yeah.
It'll just trickle out. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Okay, so come back next week. We'll do Ex Machina, and we'll have more information on exactly how we're gonna handle those other guys.
Yeah. We'll have a plan.
We're just two guys now.
Yeah.
We used to be stable. We used to be a tripod.
Yeah.
You know?
And now we're just kind of...
Now we're like two monopods.
Kicking in the wind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's difficult. We
gotta have to take it as we go.
Talk our way through some problems. Find some interesting solutions.
Yeah.
Brainstorm.
I need to meditate.
Synergize. We'll use more...
Synergy?
Synergy, yeah. We're going to use more business insider lingo.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, until we get a scalable product that we can push to the market early.
Oh, wow. That's so the only thing I can really contribute to this kind of talk is I enjoy fiscal sovereignty.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
that's great.
That's business lingo, right?
And the faster, as long as your fiscal sovereignty equals a good ROI for our investors.
I actually know what that is.
Yeah, perfect. And
that's kind of weird.
Yeah.
That's
good.
I know. Wow.
Yeah.
This could work, maybe. Got this.
Roundtable Movie Talk. Bringing you all sorts of new and interesting ideas.
Yeah.
And bad business lingo.
Innovation.
for a new something.
Pitching Furious 8. Fate. To the Universal executives.
Yeah.
We got this.
Do you ever feel like these episodes turn into one of the worst run-on sentences you ever had in grammar school?
Yeah.
Like there should have been a period or a comma or a...
Well, so we don't have Bishop to stop us.
He's
not here going guys, bring it in a bit.
Yeah,
guys, we're done.
No one's here to be like, you need to stop now.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can just keep talking.
We could.
In fact, I don't know if either of us have taken a full breath the whole entire time.
Not really.
No.
Yeah. No, I've literally just been...
I occasionally listen to you, but for the most part, I've just talked.
I think I've mostly been laughing.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, just adding what I could.
That's perfect.
Yeah.
All right.
So, interior. Car, Vin Diesel. Dominic comes in, sliding into a full stop.
Yeah.
This is how the pitch begins, obviously.
I think what should happen is there should be a semi, right?
Yeah.
And he drifts underneath it.
Okay. At the very beginning of the film.
Yeah.
No explanation as to what's going on.
Right, and we do one of those push-ins into the driver's side.
Yeah.
And it's his face, right? But then we just keep pushing him. We go all the way through the car. Michelle Rodriguez is sitting there.
Yeah.
Right? But
Maybe.
She looks scared as shit because she's pregnant.
Oh no, and he's going really fast.
Yeah, and they're running from, who are they running from? Oh my god, it's Kurt Russell. He's gone fucking crazy.
He's gone rogue. I was going to say Ben Kingsley as...
Oh, as the dad.
As the dad.
Yeah, oh, it's perfect.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Oh, Sexy Beast?
Yeah. Oh, it's great.
Oh, that'd be so great.
Oh.
Yeah.
It's April 13th. Don't rip us off.
Yeah.
Maybe we should start like a fan fiction business on the side. All right, guys.
Can you really make that into a business?
Maybe.
Yeah.
It worked for the 50 Shades of Grey chick.
Oh, God.
That's fan fiction.
That's true.
We're going to figure this out. So Jim and I are going to go, we're going to get some coffee. We're going to get a laptop.
Yeah.
We're going to pound out, we're going to just bang the script out.
Mm-hmm. I'll do some sketches. I'll do some storyboarding.
Yeah, it's going to be great. And in the meantime, you guys be good.
Yeah,
be well.
and if anybody knows Vin Diesel's phone number, send that to us.
Yeah, give us a call.
So that we could talk to him about Fate.
Fate. It's going to be huge.
Yeah.
It's going to be the
gonna
next
be great.
biggest thing since Furious 7. Thank you for listening to Roundtable Movie Talk. For more, find us on Facebook or iTunes, or get us on Twitter at RT Movie Talk. And don't forget to rate and subscribe. Thanks.
I'm ready for the war.